Got the backcourt here today. Is this team just about where it should be? Are you on schedule?
I would say so. I would say if you're looking at a basketball team that goes through stages through the course of a season, and you have 10 levels, and level 10 being where you want to be in June, I would say we're right on course to where we need to be.
Yeah.
We're not ahead of pace, we're not behind pace. I would say we're just about right where we need to be.
I agree. I totally agree.
Joe, you're having a great year. In fact, you're taking more of an active role. How did that come about?
Individually, you have to start being smarter as a player. You can't just go out and say, I'm going to get the ball, and I'm just going to run as fast as I can and go by my man. You have to learn how to set your man up. You have to learn how to set him up for a screen. I have to learn how to be in the right position for him. I can't just come down and say, Isaiah, just give me the ball, and I'm going to shoot it. I have to see what he's going to do, get to the right spot, and know that he's going to get the ball there. So you have to start thinking individually. You have to be a smarter player. You have to start setting yourself up better.
Is he turned into a smarter player?
Joe's always been a very smart player. You know, when he came here, we had Vinnie Johnson and John Long who were playing before him, and they were offensive players. Joe came out of college as an offensive player, averaging 25, was it 25, 26?
Something like that, yeah.
25, 26 points a game. So he came to the Pistons as an offensive player, but he seen Vinnie Johnson and John Long were offensive players, so he said, well, if I'm going to get some minutes on the court, yeah, I got to play defense.
So that's the smartest move I ever made right there.
And where does Isaiah fit in now?
Well, before I got here, first of all, he did most of the scoring here.
That's right.
And he had to do most of the scoring here just for their team to be in the game. Well, over the 4 or 5 years that I've been here now, it's been an influx of just talented players coming here. So he's had to adjust his game. And I don't think it was a great adjustment because if you're a great player, you know how to play with other really good players. But he had to adjust his game with other great players.
Bother you at all that your role has had to fluctuate?
No, it doesn't bother me. Actually, it's exciting because you have to figure out ways to win. You know, the most important thing in the basketball game and playing is to win.
The hand belonged to Mark McGuire.
And, you know, as I said, basketball has become a game of chess in terms of knowledge as opposed to just putting the basketball in a hole. You have to make sure that everybody that you're playing with gets a fair amount of shots and is able to display their skills. You know, the most important thing that my job is out on the basketball court is making sure that we're in a format and doing things that allow individual players to show their individual skills, but in a team concept. So therefore, I know there's certain things that James Edwards can do that he does well. There's certain things that Joe can do that he does well. There's certain things that Bill can do that he does well, Dennis and John and so forth. So you have to be creative enough out there on the court and get the ball into them in proper positions where they can display their individual skills.
Point guard is the toughest spot on the floor because no other position on the floor is where you're responsible for 4 other people. The center is not responsible for what the 2 guard does. He's responsible for beating his man, getting a low post position. And to put it in context, the worst thing that could happen to somebody like me is that I would become strictly a point guard. See, I would hate to be just, and not that he's strictly a point guard, but 90% of the time he's going to be at the point.
Yeah.
I would hate to have to be out front the whole time. Like when I see guards and that's all they play is the point guard, the best thing for me is going back and forth because that's a tough spot to be out there the whole game. Because most of the time, especially on a team like this, you got 4 guys who saying, "Hey,
yeah,
hey,
I'm over it," right?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but he says you're a heck of a thinker.
Yeah, and you have to know how to fit in with that.
Yeah.
You're both starters, but have you been satisfied with the role of the bench for the Pistons this year?
Yeah, and I think the bench got a late start this year because when we changed from James Edwards to Sally, then the bench had to start over again. They didn't start off in training camp playing together, you know, through training camp again and getting used to each other again. So they had to do it in the middle of the season. So I think they're getting back on course now.
Certainly is going to be the most mature team that either one of you have ever played with.
I would say, yeah. I would say this is the most comfortable we've been all season long. We've had some games at home. Our team is playing well. We got guys shooting the basketball well. We're moving the basketball well, and everybody's feeling really good about themselves, and everybody's pretty healthy.